Okay, we're a go.
The rise in crime rates and increasing violence in modern society has made it apparent that the death penalty is a necessary element of our penal code. Without the death penalty in place, there would be a missing link of justice in the legal system. If a person commits a heinous crime, they should pay for it. If that means the death penalty, so be it. In the United States of America, states Alaska, Minnesota, Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, Hawaii, West Virginia, Iowa, Michigan, Rhode Island, North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C. does not impose capital punishment, while the other 38 states do, according to deathpenaltyinfo.org. Capital punishment is something that is going to be implemented in the United States legal system, then I think it should be all or nothing. Each state should have to enforce it, or none should. Adversaries say that the death penalty does not offer an economical method of punishment. The death penalty case costs an average of $2.3 million, about 2 times the cost of imprisoning someone in a single cell at the highest level of security for 50 years. The cost of trying a case is 3 times the cost of life without parole. With this being the case, adversaries have a valid argument that the death penalty is not an economical method of punishment. With cost in mind, though, could the nation find more efficient ways of execution? Could new laws be implemented limiting appeals? There are several possible appeals an individual sentenced to death can make. The first appeal is filed with the State Court of Appeals. If denied, the convicted can appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. If this appeal is denied, the appeal can move to the U.S. Circuit Court. And if this is denied, that appeal, the inmate can again appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. That is a lot of appeals and a lot of legal money and time spent. Finally, if all else fails, the inmate can ask for clemency from the governor and or the parole board of the state. This according to ProDeathPenalty.com. This is far too many appeals an inmate should be able to make. If we decrease the amount of appeals, the cost of the American people is going to drop significantly. Adversaries note that the death penalty is not keeping with the values of civilized society. Those people who oppose the death penalty, however, challenge these traditional reasons. They point out that there is no solid evidence that the death penalty serves as a deterrent, but I beg to differ. I have a few charts here that I can pass out.
Get them.
And if you look at your top chart, it's showing the deterrence effect. And the last one, it's more executions, fewer murders. And these are just a few easy charts that show you that the death penalty actually does work. I feel that the death penalty would be more effective as a deterrent if there weren't so many appeals, long delays, and limited numbers of those actually executed. What people are not seeing about the death penalty are the heinous crimes that people are committing. Only the most serious crimes are sentenced with the death penalty. Those who receive it deserve to die. When someone murders another, they have stolen that person's life. What has given that person the right to take that other person's life? Taking another's life is not right. When someone murders, they are breaking the law, the same law the people of the United States have established. The punishment for the crime in 38 out of the 50 states is death. Are these states murdering, or are they ensuring that the individual who committed the crime will never be allowed to do it again? One may be well aware of the sniper shootings on the East Coast in the recent past. Alan Muhammad and John Lee Malho are 2 individuals who were involved in at least 20 shootings that killed 15 and wounded 5 people, according to the Baltimore Sun. These 2 people killed many completely innocent people for no reason at all. What gives them the right to take these lives? Nothing does. They do not deserve to sit in prison for the rest of their lives watching television, eating 3 meals a day, and enjoying leisure activities. They deserve to die a horrible and painful death. The death penalty does not allow that, however. In the United States, the death penalty keeps the values of the civilized society. The electric chair, lethal injection, and the gas chamber are just some of the modern forms of executions used today. These forms cause a quick and sudden death, making them the most civilized forms of the death penalty possible. Here is an example where the death penalty was needed. Bob Vickers was sentenced to death row in 1978. His execution was delayed for 17 years. 4 years after his arrival, in the same cell block, he made a firebomb out of hair gel, ended up killing another inmate. When talking to investigators after the murder, he stated, "Did I do a good job? I told them they should have gassed me in December when they had the chance." During the 17 years, Vickers had 158 major violations while behind prison walls. Foes of the death penalty argue that execution has no deterrent factor. What happened May 5th in Florence prison permanently deterred Bob Vickers. These sick and twisted individuals clearly show in their short time in prison that they cannot be rehabilitated and cannot be trusted to rejoin society. Why should the law-abiding citizens of the United States have to pay their hard-earned money in order to feed, house, and clothe these people until they die? The death penalty is a highly debated issue in modern society. Adversaries present numerous objections on why it should be abolished. Many of these arguments are in correlation with the questions of ethics and arguments that date back to the time when the death penalty was introduced. They see that this form of punishment has worked for many years in this country. In the past few years, the United States has been exposed to some horrific facts, some horrific acts. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center in the New York City and Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Thousands of innocent people were killed and wounded. If the U.S. were to find Osama bin Laden, the person responsible for the attacks, and put him on trial, would there still be adversaries to the death penalty? Would people want him to spend the rest of his life alive, enabling the possibility of organizing more attacks on the USA? This man is solely responsible for every single death recorded on that famous day. Abolishing the death penalty and allowing him to spend the rest of his life in prison with the possibility of parole is not the answer. The death penalty has been a form of punishment in the United States since the beginning of its time. Until inaugural facts are presented against the death penalty, it should remain as a form of punishment